Welcome back to another episode of Art World Confessions. So today I decided I had a little time. I would talk about the subject that I brought up a while back, which is basically how art in the past reflected our times, and now art is such a global thing and we have access to it like all the time, everywhere, on every device. Art that we see doesn't necessarily reflect any certain time. For example, back in the day, we had work like this by Francesco Goya. We had work like Picasso's Guernica. We had works that reflected what was going on societally, and those works were in the public eye and were selling. Now we have, well, this, and we have this, and we have this. And some of the things are great, but I mean, whatever happened to artists engaging with social topics? Is it all like navel gazing now? Let me reflect on my own psychosis. Let me reflect on my own place in society as opposed to commenting on what's happening in society. There are a few artists who have been reflecting what's happening in the society on a broader scale. I mean, it's a world issue that we're seeing play out in a very small part of the world, but it's safe to say that the artists who are speaking up about it, that are addressing these issues in their work, they're being silenced. Just like journalists are being silenced or people are being put in prison because they're saying certain things about certain topics, artists too are being banned from speeches, they're being taken out of exhibitions, they're being removed from public spaces. I mean, is this art? Now, I know art can also be very soothing. It can help people to get through trying times. But still, I mean, if we're not even allowed to deal with these traumatic issues and process them through art, then what's the point of art after all? I mean, I always have to reference this major collector who's from Belgium. And he's right. It's like, is art only decoration? Is it only about what's gonna match the drapes, match the couch? Or is art something much more than that? I have a compilation here of things that I've seen recently that I really like, that resonate with me. And most of it is probably falling into the category of decoration for this Belgian collector. But nonetheless, it definitely made me feel good and it's very YouTube friendly. There's no nothing, no nudity, no social topics, no anything that will trigger the algorithm. There's no topics that are hot button topics on YouTube. Like, you're not going to see anything about a war or anything like that. It's just going to be nice and relaxed. Just a few weeks or months ago, I have, again, lots of artist friends, and they post things like, this is what I'm up to, this is what I'm doing. And you'll see all the people on social media engage with these posts, and at some point it was just annoying me, all of this stuff, because these are people who, they don't necessarily endorse what's happening on the larger scale out there, but they haven't really said anything about it either to suggest that it's wrong what's happening. And I just was impatient once and I said, you know what, stop posting your boring art. No one cares. No one cares. And of course there's going to be art as commerce, and that's pretty much allowed because we all have to eat, we all have to make money, we all have to pay bills. So that's still going on in all these sales. I think for people like myself, who art is not just a way of earning money, but it's a lifestyle, it's a way of life, it's really difficult to see what's happening to artists right now in the larger world, in the greater context of being able to express yourself freely and being able to put out there what I call authentic work, because there's so much other stuff that is simply inauthentic, stuff that's just manufactured to sell, stuff that, okay, we have another art fair coming up, can you make some more stuff? And then someone is going to paint some stuff that looks like some stuff because it's easy stuff for people to put on their walls or to put away as a quote unquote investment. And the sad truth of the matter is, the stuff that people like, like a lot of people like, the popular stuff, it's usually the crappy stuff. Like, let's be real. It's usually the crappy, easily digestible, palatable stuff that well, it doesn't really raise the consciousness of anyone, whether it's the viewer, whether it's the consciousness of the planet. I mean, just going back to the shamanic practices of artists from back in the day, if you think of the abstract expressionists, there's a whole energy there that for a lot of the work we see right now, it's just lacking. I mean, a guy like Jackson Pollock, he had his problems. We all know what happened to him, but you have to think about the work that he did, how transformative it was for himself, how transformative it was for the world, for the art world, and how transformative it was for collectors as well. I mean, is there anybody doing anything like that which we can say is really transformative? For myself, I really pay attention these days to art that sort of reflects the interest that I have, whether it's as a Black female immigrant or any other number of combinations of things which have been underrepresented in the art world. I pay a lot of attention to those things because I think it's time to balance the scales, not just in art, but in society in general, in the world in general. An old friend of mine said to me not too long ago about one of his artists, "She works really hard." And I thought to myself, I don't know if anybody would say that about Andy Warhol. They said at every opening, he would be at every opening, even if you opened a window, he would be there. And God knows, in the factory, he probably worked pretty hard. But I don't think his dealer would ever have to say that about him to justify the value of his work. And then I had to think as well about doctors working in the ER, or about accountants, or about any other professions where, working hard is really what makes the difference, because it's not about skill so much, it's not about brains, it's not about any sort of ingenuity or talent, it's just bare hard work. So for the artists that I picked, I don't know if they're all hard workers, but they definitely have some sort of spark, which is not necessarily attributed to hard work. Well, that's it for today's episode of Art World Confessions. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you know when I upload a new episode of Art World Confessions. Have a great week.